Welcome to the Best 5 Minute Wine Podcast with Forrest Kelly. Best 5 Minute Wine Podcast.
So pulling up to the property and you get the beautiful Virginia background, what do we see when it comes to the winery?
Yeah, you'll pull up and you'll see the original winery structure that was first built here in 2011. It's 2 stories. The tasting room is on both levels. So there's a bar where you first walk in. There's more seating upstairs. My cellar is in the back half of the building on the first floor. So you won't see that unless I invite you back. There's also a really nice patio, picnic grounds, and you can walk over to our brand new pavilion building as well that the current owner, Lisa, installed quickly after purchasing the property in 2019. And it's gorgeous. It's a beautiful timber frame structure that has retractable sides and heaters and a large fireplace. So it's a beautiful 4-season kind of outdoor space for us.
People, when they come to the property, how long do they typically spend? An hour, 2 hours?
It could be an hour, 2 hours. It could be all day. It kind of depends. So you can come in and we do offer a guided tasting with one of our associates that will kind of talk you through a little bit about the history and guide you through some selected wines that we really wanted to show off what we do here. Or there's always an option to also pick out some flight where we'll give you some detailed notes to read and you can kind of taste through on your own. You can do glasses, you can do bottles. We have a pretty big expansive lawn as well. So people will come and bring a picnic and stay for the day. You can bring your kids, you can bring your dogs as long as everybody is well behaved.
When you win an award, where do you get the most satisfaction?
I think the most satisfaction, again, my rosé program is super important to me. So when I enter rosé specific competitions and my wines show well, that's real important to me because I know those judges are just tasting rosé and they know that product well. So that's important to me. On the Virginia side, for our Governor's Cup is always important to get a good nod there. But it like you said, you don't make the wine to win the competition. It's good to get recognized, but winning something and then having my colleagues, my winemaker friends around that, and we sit down and taste wines together, and they can say, "Oh my gosh, Mel, that's good." That almost means more to me than those awards. Yeah, so the 2019 vintage, so both of the wines, the wine that won the Governor's Cup in 2022 was my 2019 Vineyard Reserve. I also had another red blend that was in the case, which is the top 12. That's the Mariage. They both came from the 2019 vintage, which was a gorgeous growing season here for us in Virginia. And I submitted probably like 5 reds, a couple whites, maybe a rosé to that competition. I was like, if something doesn't come home with a gold, I don't know what's going on. Honestly, it's what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking higher than a gold. The gold is where you want to be. I wasn't thinking taste. I wasn't thinking cup winner. But I'm like, something here has got to have a gold medal. And I looked to the reds for that just because there's a bias in competition for red wines, which is it's hard when you have someone like me that really loves making rosé and white wines. They're harder to show well. You get great comments and low scores. But the reds I knew were good in 2019. So I'm like, something's got to get a gold at least, right? And then I got the phone call. This is the hardest part about winning that competition. It's nice that you know ahead that you won because you have to speak and you can prepare for it. And they want a bunch of notes on the wine to give out to everybody that night. So you need some time to lead up. But they gave me about 6 weeks of telling me and me not being able to tell anybody else, which was a really hard secret to hold. But I did it. I did it very well. I got the phone call from our organization. And she's like, "How are you doing today?" I'm like, "Good." My boyfriend and I just came back from a hike. And she's like, "Oh, it's going to be better." I'm like, "Okay." And I knew she was calling about the Governor's Cup. I'm like, "All right, this is my gold medal phone call, right? Here we go." She's like, "Okay, you got 2 that got gold medals." I'm like, "Great." She's like, "And they're both in the case." I'm like, "Okay. And you won." I'm like, "What?" Like, I was certainly not expecting that. It really wasn't. And the hardest thing was she didn't tell me at first what the wine was. I'm like, "Wait a second, what won?" And then she told me it was my 2019 Vineyard Reserve. And that was super special because that is my estate blend. So I have 7.5 acres that I farm here on the estate. And then I have other partner growers in Virginia that I work pretty closely with for a lot of my other production. But the wine that won was 100% my estate. And that was probably the most validating thing because I think I've felt stronger as a winemaker than a grape grower before. But that was my fruit. Like, that's in my hands. I'm also in the vineyard all season doing the canopy work with my crew. I mean, that fruit is in my hands from the beginning to the end. So it's super validating for anyone that might want to take anything away from that. For me, like, you can't. Like, that was me in that bottle.
The Best 5 Minute Wine Podcast.
Don't forget my favorite part.
Please like and follow. Oh.